Hola and bienvenidos. Welcome to my live. Hello and welcome to my live. I know it is not 6 o'clock yet. However, I was looking at some things and I noticed that it said I was going live at 5:47. How that happened, I don't know. But in any event, I just want to say if you are watching the live, I just want to thank you for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you are here and you're watching the replay, again, let me just say thank you for tuning in. It is so appreciated. So many of you that come on a daily basis, or excuse me, a weekly basis. I really want to say that I truly appreciate you. Let me just set this up a little bit. Again, I thank you so much for everything that each and every one of you have done and do for me in supporting me and my channel. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have people here. Hey, GT Junior. Hey, Joshua Gabriel. Thank you, guys. Um, GT, I thought about you so much when I was doing this live and preparing for this live. And yes, Numero uno, Joshua, good for you. You're number one. You're number one. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I thought about you, GT. I'm gonna get more in depth when I have more people in, but I don't know if you were able to look at the topic. It's talking about seasonal depression. Hey, Gina versus Gina, how are you, sis? So good to have you here. Thank you. I appreciate you guys because I know everybody's busy. I'm busy. You all are busy. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Yeah, GT, I was thinking about you because in my research, I found a lot of information that talked about people in Alaska suffering from seasonal depression. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because it hit home. It hit home, guys. What's everybody's temperature like? I usually ask what everybody's temperature is like. I'm going to look at mine's right now. Right now, I'm at 72 degrees. So, let's see. Great to catch you. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I'm so proud of you for so many reasons. One day we're gonna have a little conversation, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hey, Rambo, how are you, sir? How are things by you? What's your weather looking like? What's your weather? Hey, unbiased queen, as always. Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, okay. We doing good. We doing good. Wow, Gina's got 73. So she's just a temp off from me. I'm 72. But GT's got 34. So is that good for now or is that bad? 72 is good for us. So so Rambo said unbiased following him. More so you are following the queen and not her following you, sir. Yeah. Anyway, hey, Homesteader Rachel, good to see you, sis. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Cold and depressed weather right now. Is it rainy? I know when I went to London in December, it was so wet, and I was told, "Hey, that's the norm." Ambias said 82. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. Yeah, I'm happy. We had about 2 weeks ago. It was really, really cold. It was getting cold at night. Well, cold for us, getting down into the low 50s. I was like, "Ooh, I don't like this." But looking at the next 10-day forecast, guys, our lows, the lowest is going to be 60, 69. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, today the high was 75. So actually, I misspoke. 68 is the low for tonight. So I'm happy about that. But anyway, I'm so excited. I'm trying to wait for others to come in. But guys, this topic really hit home about seasonal depression. Okay, Rambo says not cloudy, wet and cold with some sprinkle of street. Yeah, it's horrible. I hate that. I hate when it's like that. So I'm really excited to talk about tonight. Let me just say this. First of all, I need to give a shout out to a very dear friend of mine who happens to be a follower. And she mentioned to me that she was looking forward to my live because she was going through a little seasonal depression and she really thought my live would pick her up. And I felt honored that she said that. I really did. Because that's what you want. It's those of you that are content creators, when someone plays you a compliment like that, you feel blessed. You feel good that you could say something or do something that might encourage or make someone else feel good. So she made me feel really good. But here's the thing. I looked at her and I said, that's what I'm suffering from right now, seasonal depression. I didn't do my live last week, guys, because I was depressed. Seasonal depression, I have been trying to fight it, and it was not bad as it usually is, but it was bad. Even when my daughter asked me, Mom, what's wrong? Why are you not doing your live? I was embarrassed to tell her I feel depressed. I feel like I'm the mother. I don't want her to see me like that or know that I'm feeling that way. So I said, I'm just tired. And I'm being very transparent because I'm hoping that maybe somebody might benefit. She said to me, Mommy, you don't ever have to be embarrassed with me. Never. Mm-mm. We all go through something. And we had a little discussion and it made me feel good. Ambaya said, you never know. People are just looking for a little bit of hope to continue to live. So true. We don't know. You know, you can wear a smile on the outside and be ha-ha, kiki with everybody, but in the interior of your own home, you may be the loneliest person. You could be surrounded by people and still be lonely. Hey, twin, how you doing, sis? So I thought to myself, that's what I need to do a live about. You know, my happy place is my garden, and I love to go in the garden. But with the change in seasons, it was dark in the morning before work, so I couldn't go out in the garden. I'm working during the day. When I'm finished working, it's dark. I was so down and depressed. Guys, I'd come from work, I finished work. A lot of times my husband would say, what's the matter? You're not eating? No, I'm not hungry. You're not hungry? No, I'm not. I could be around other people and they would never know because I'm trying to hide it. I was embarrassed. Ambaya said, depression is okay to discuss with others. That's how you relieve the symptoms. Keep talking about it. Amen. Amen. You're so right. I'm going to let that resonate. I'm going to leave that up there for a little while because I want everybody to know it's okay to talk and tell people that you're depressed. It helps to talk to people. My friend and I had a conversation, and she knows who she is. She's going to hear this, and she's going to know, again, it's going to reaffirm in her mind how valuable of a friend she is. And we've been friends for a long time. Hey, Wellness, how are you? Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you coming. So I started doing some research on it, guys, and I got my trusty notebook, as always. You know, sometimes people hear things and they say, oh, that's not real. That's not real. So that's why I made my topic seasonal depression. Is it real or not? Because, you know, you talk to people, they just, brush it off. And I guess maybe that's why I was a little embarrassed to kind of admit, yeah, I'm going through this seasonal depression thing. I wasn't sure exactly how to handle it. I don't take medicine over the counter. That's just not my thing. My body doesn't do well. And I wasn't sure what natural remedies were out there. And I did find some. So, you know, I had a lot. This was a learning experience. It really was. Yes, it definitely is real. It definitely is. Um, so because I couldn't go in the garden, because my typical routine is I get up early, I exercise with wellness, sometimes a little bit before, a little bit after, but I exercise, get dressed, and I go out to the garden before I go to work. And I could not do it. I couldn't do it. And so, after, at first you're like, okay, but then as time went on, it started wearing on me. It started getting to me. It was so bad, guys. I was dreaming about being in my garden and waking up frustrated because it was a dream. It wasn't real. I wasn't out there. After work, it was dark. So I really wasn't doing anything. The only time I could really be out there was on the weekend. And that's wonderful and everything, but gardening is kind of a daily thing for me. I found out that it's characterized as a disease. I didn't know that. They characterize it as a disease. And it occurs the same time every year for most people. It becomes part of what happens to them every year around the same time. So it makes it difficult. And I thought about GT Junior being in Alaska because they said that it happens more often in climates where there is less sunlight. So I thought about that time where they don't have sunlight. How do they cope? What do they do? And so I thought, what can I do? And I started doing the research. So I found out that there are some herbs that you can use to help you with it. And I was very surprised that lemon balm was mentioned because I make a lemon balm tincture. So I started with that, taking it straight, putting it in my tea, and that started to help me feel a little bit better. So Rambo says, you have the best place for that heal, which is the garden. This is where I find my yes. It's so true, Rambo. The garden, I always say this, you could do so much in the garden. You can sing in your garden. You can cry in your garden. You can read in your garden. You can pray in your garden. You can de-stress in your garden. You can get out that anxiety, pulling them weeds. You can get out that anger, chopping down and whatever. It's really helpful. So you are so right, sir. It is one of the best places that you can heal in the garden. And it's nature. So I love it. Oh boy, I near died. What? Mike, I'm happy to have you in here. Yeah, I'm out in the garden no matter the weather. I hear you, Rambo. Good for you. So let me see. I had 0 vitamin D because I work from home and in the winter it's dark at 4 p.m. Yep. Do you know that's what my research said? It said that it affects different things. So I have it in my notes. I have it. Oh yes. Low levels of vitamin D produced in the skin when you're exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D boosts the serotonin activity. So less vitamin D equals less sunlight. So I'm so glad you brought that up. They mentioned how some people get on a little therapy taking certain vitamins to help them. I did not know how in depth this study was going to get for me. So it's called seasonal affective disorder, and it's called SAD. So they say people in Alaska and in New England suffer from it the most, and the majority of people that suffer from it are women more so than men. And I thought about it. Maybe it's because we're hormonal. I don't know, more hormonal than men, because men can be hormonal. Despite what people may think, men can be hormonal. We all have hormones, but it's very different. Thank you, Unbiased. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's just something to think about. They thought I had MS. I couldn't walk. Wow, you did have it bad. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. He said his organs were shutting down. See, I hadn't even got to that part of the research where it said that would be some of the effects. So I'm glad that you're here sharing that. And thank you for sharing that and not keeping it to yourself, because sometimes when other people share, then we get to see, wait a minute, I'm having these issues, or someone else I know is having these issues. And then you can kind of help them or guide them to a place where they can get some help. Yeah, you have to eat mushrooms. They have great about vitamin D's, which mostly in the wintertime. Oh, see, that I didn't know. Bias says it's because most men go out to work and most women are housewives. Absolutely. And where do I work? From home. So I do have kind of like a homeschool network. And what it is I've taken my 2-car garage and made classrooms and extended a little bit so that I can have a nice area. So I am here, but once I go to work, that's what I'm into. I'm in work mode. I'm not leaving and going here, going there. I'm in work mode. So it is somewhat daunting when you are at work and you go and it's dark and you come back and it's dark. Something to think about. Anyway, it said that they don't know why. For sure, some people are affected and others are not. But they did say that it is possible that it's related in families. They may have a family and more than one person suffers from it. So research shows that generally another family member has it. So it is possible and very likely that it is hereditary. We know that it's due to the reducing sunlight. So therefore it happens typically in the fall and in the winter, and that's what brings it on. And they say that what happens is with that reduction of sunlight, it kind of messes with your internal clock, and that's what brings on the depression. And also about or learned about serotonin levels. It says when the serotonin level drops, it also can affect your mood, but also can affect you having seasonal depression. So let's see some of these comments. Okay, yes, wow, I had no idea. It says, Rambo said mushrooms act like your skin to get the best result. Place it as little sun about 10 minutes before cooking. Oh, so the mushroom, you want it to get into sunlight so it can absorb the vitamin D. And then when you cook it, you'll have the vitamin D. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. So Mike says, I had something so easily fixed. No doctor knew. Was a nurse who casually suggested it. I have fluorescent lights too, swapped at a full spectrum. Yes. My friend who talked to me about it, that's what she had, the spectrum lights. And so, I thought about that, the spectrum lights, because I find that when I buy light bulbs, and I don't know if this is directly related or not, but I notice when I buy light bulbs, I always like to buy sunlight. You can get different levels of light with your light bulbs. So I always notice I get the sunlight. I want that. I want to feel like that brightness. And so that could be, very much related to why I'm suffering from it, why I'm more susceptible, and why I tend to buy light bulbs that give that sunlight subconsciously. So we weren't made for the cold. I don't think so either. I really don't. I use a satellite too in winter for season. Okay, that's right. Yep. I looked at the prices of the lights, and I saw some as cheap as in the 50s, and I saw some as high as 190 something dollars. Excuse me. I don't know why my phone is going off. Everyone knows. So it's something to think about. Getting that light if you feel like you need it. They're on Amazon, of course, not an affiliate or anything. Just saying, that's where I've seen them. You know, our people don't really eat mushroom, right? I love mushroom, but guess what? I'll be sitting them out to absorb the vitamin D from the sun more and see if that helps. Um, so she said, I'm some people, I don't like mushrooms. The queen said no mushrooms. No, thank you. Hey, Growing with Hudson, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Please weigh in if you can, what you know about it, if you've experienced it. You weren't here, but I was just telling everybody how I was embarrassed to admit that I had seasonal depression. But it is what it is. So Mbaya says your mental has no price. That's right. If you need it to continue to live, get what you need. Exactly. Exactly. You know, you think about it. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Think about it. The best investment you could make is in yourself. Self-preservation is your first obligation. If you don't do what you need for yourself, how can you help anybody else? How can your life be meaningful if you don't do what you need? You have to do what you need for your body. So if that means that you want to buy that Spectrum light for $190 some, I don't care how you have to do it. However you have to do it, I say do it. Just as Mbaya said, you can't put a price on your mental health. You just can't. Unbiased, my wife thought she hated mushrooms. I powder dried ones. Turned out she loves the flavor, hated the texture. Try grinding them. Wow. That is very true because mushrooms do have an odd texture for some people. Me, I usually saute mines. I will, if I get the big mushrooms, like the king mushroom, I will fry that. That's the only time I usually fry anyway. But I love mushrooms, all types. So, I might eat them dried and fried, but not whole. I hear you, girl. I hear you. Mixed beef stew, meteor, etc. See, being a pescatarian, I use the mushroom as a meat substitute. I will grind it up, add different things to it, make a patty, and have it as a burger. Usually with black beans, I'll do that, beets, the ground up mushroom, and just make it as a patty. And GT's back. I'm glad you're back. You probably missed what I was saying about Alaska, how they say Alaska and New England are the top two places where people suffer from seasonal depression. Do you hear a lot of that, GT, where you're at, people suffering from that? So Jihad says she loves mushrooms and not sure if she has seasonal depression. Okay. Well, I tell you, how are you feeling anyway? So, Mike, how long should I let them? Oh, how long should? Okay, Mike, she wants to know how long she should let them dry because she don't have a dryer. Mike said, try shiitake mushroom powder, mix it in hamburger meat, makes burgers 10 times better. Wow, that is great. I might try that for my husband. Put that in his burger and see how it does. So he says you can buy dehydrated mushrooms and powder. Okay, cool. Unbiased, do you have an air fryer? I have an air fryer, and I did not know for the longest that it had a feature where you could dehydrate. I had no idea. I don't know how I missed it, but if you have an air fryer, look and see because it might have that feature on yours. I don't think all of them do, but some of them do. I know mine did. So GT is still driving but listening. Thank you. Appreciate the fact that you're here. It means so much. She says she's good. Great. So cabin fever is what people call it here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, with the reduction in sunlight, it's, our bodies were made to be out, to nurture from the sun. Everything here on this earth, the Creator has made to benefit us. And so we need that sunlight. Think about it. They're pushing vitamin this, vitamin that. And here the sun gives us that vitamin. Okay, so she says she does have an air fryer. Maybe it has that setting. That would be cool. I hope so. Hope so. I hope so. So Rambo said, I've dealt with these mental health when I was younger, but I did martial arts, which helped me to make a great foundation. But the gardening is adding to my cup of life, which I have expanded over time. I love the way you phrase that, adding to your cup of life. That I like that. It is a cup of life. It really is. I just love it. I really, really do. So she says she's gonna check. Yeah, that'll be great. Hopefully you do. Hey, 70 plus gardener, how are you? Speaking to everybody. It's been dark a half an hour here. It's just 5. Yep, it's dark here too. And here's the thing. I was so happy when they said it's time to fall back. When I woke up today, I was like, yes, it's light. I'm waking up and it's light. Like my body was missing it. So I think going forward, what I'm gonna do is when it is dark, I'll put on that spectrum light. Hopefully it'll help. Hopefully it will help. I know that I need it. I know that I need it. So I found something else. It also has to do with or affects your melatonin levels. So we all have melatonin in our body. And so the change in season can disrupt the body's balance of melatonin, and it plays a part in sleep patterns. So we all have this melatonin. It's something natural. When there's less sunlight, some of us, the melatonin drops, and it affects us to have SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And so that was new for me. I did not know that. I did not know that at all about the melatonin. I know some people take melatonin to help them sleep, but I honestly, guys, was not aware that we all have some level of melatonin in our body. Okay, that's good to know. So it's going to be worth the money to have those grow lights that can help. My grow lights, unfortunately, are in my other room, and they are very bright. Maybe that's why I love sitting there. You know, typically I do my lives where my aero farm is, and those lights are usually on around that time. And that is one of my happy places, and I get to see what's growing. So that's probably a good thing to do until I get my full spectrum light. It says you keep your aero garden near, it will help. I didn't think about that. I have a good size night table, and I could put my smaller bounty on there. And then when I wake up, I can set the lights so that it's on shortly after or when I wake up. And it won't disrupt my husband because he's gone by that time. That is a very good suggestion. I think I'm going to do that. Hey, Darthex. He said it rained all night. Then around noon, we had a windstorm that knocked the power out for 3 hours. We just got power 30 minutes ago. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad you're doing well. 3 hours is not bad as far as your fridge and whatnot. Hopefully, everything should still be good. 3 hours, you can deal with your food. Your food will still be good if you did not open your refrigerator. Hopefully, that will be it, and you won't get another storm coming in. It's amazing how powerful the wind is, guys. And I tell you, with that storm we had, Helene, I really saw that. Those 80 miles per hour winds were crazy. Yep. Yeah, yikes. So they also said that people that have bipolar are more susceptible to having SAD. They also said if you suffer from major depression, you will more than likely also suffer from seasonal affective disorder. So they would really benefit from, sometimes you have to get medical help, seek medical help to find out what it is that you need, what it is that's going on. And in the case of Mike, it may not always be the doctor that gives you the answer. It might be a versed, well-meaning nurse who kind of can assess things and offer her assistance, as in the case of Mike. So it says, so here I wrote this in my notes. I thought about something in regard to light. When my children were younger, my mom was living in New York. I am originally from New York. So my mom was in New York and my children and I were here in the South. And she says, we were talking and she says, hey, what are the kids doing? I said, oh, they're outside playing. And she said, but it's dark outside. And I said, it's not dark here. And she said, it's not? I said, no, it's not dark at all. It might sound silly, but I didn't realize that as you come down south, it gets darker first. And then as it comes down, it gets darker. That's when I learned that. And that was maybe about 20 years ago. I didn't know that. So it leads me to this. It said that people that live further from the equator, which would be people that live in the north, would be more susceptible to SAD. So that makes sense, guys, because they have less light and we would have more. So even though we're in the same time zone, they still get less light than us. I had not realized that, but going through this study made me think about that. How it was dark in New York, but not here in the South. So if you're living further from the equator, so it made me think, So in the countries where they live closer to the equator, there's a less occurrence of SAD. Very few people suffer from it. So it makes sense, guys. It really makes sense. So Mike says, yeah, if you didn't open the fridge or freezer, they're good. Yep, exactly. We're good. The fridge stayed closed. Good for you. So no need in worrying about your food. Now, just an interesting side note. When Helene came through, lots of people lost their power. Some people lost power for days, maybe 5 days, 7 days. Some people lost their power for 11 days after that storm. So FEMA came in and they had a program. If you had lost food, they were giving, based upon your income and based upon how many people were in your home, they were giving EBT cards with funds on that to replace your food. So I thought that was wonderful for people that had lost their food. And, a lot of times people forget about the low income, the poor, the people that are less fortunate, but they got an opportunity this time to really help a lot of those people out. And there were a lot of people that benefited from that. So you mentioning the fridge staying closed really made me think about how people benefited from that recently. Yes, to the mushroom powder. Yes. Angle of sun, short day and long day. Exactly. Mike, I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know it. It's so crazy how certain things you think about and other things you don't affect. Yep. Yes, it does. I didn't think about that aspect, but it has to affect the garden when you think about the angle of the sun and who gets more sun and who doesn't. It makes complete sense. So I will not say I will never suffer from seasonal depression again. I'm pretty sure there's a possibility I will, but at least now I know how to go forward and I'm not embarrassed anymore to admit that I had seasonal depression. Hey, Ma, how are you? So good to see you. I need to call you. Miss your voice. Got to hear your voice. So happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Everybody is speaking. And so Rambo Search, and those places are filled with nature. Yes, they are. When I went to Chile, they say that in Chile, it is the end of the earth. And that's because it's so far down and it is definitely close to the equator. And let me tell you something. You talking about a beautiful, beautiful place. Chile, Argentina, Brazil, all of those places were gorgeous. It was amazing, just amazing. So you are so right. Hey, Auntie Ellen, how are you? Hearts right back at you. Yeah, so it was amazing to learn a lot. Um, Also, too, it talked about how some people withdraw socially, and I thought about myself. The fact that I did not have my live last week because I was depressed, I withdrew socially. The fact that I was just after work, laying down, going to sleep, I was withdrawing from my husband, my daughter. They understood after they knew what was wrong, but I can tell you, it says it can affect school, it can affect work. It said it could even lead people to have substance abuse. Um, yes, we'll talk. I'll tell you what's going on. Um, yeah. So, you know, we don't want to look at somebody and think, oh, yeah, they got it. They got it. No. But as a friend, it's good to be aware of what your friends are going through. And if you notice a little something, just look friendly, just like my friend asked, told me, hey, don't be embarrassed. I suffer from it. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. We need to be there for each other, to help each other, because mental health is very challenging. Think about it. If you go to the doctor, broken arm, uh, your heart, other things. Even if you have a thyroid issue, your eyes may be bulging, you might have a goiter. Those are visible things, tangible things you can touch, you can see. Mental health is a little bit more challenging. Everybody is different. The way I dealt with it, the way my friend dealt with it, the way others may have dealt with it can vary. And nothing is wrong, and it can all be right because it's on an individual basis. So mental health is challenging. So it does affect and can affect you mentally. It also says it can cause more anxiety, for you to be more anxious. It also said it can cause eating disorders. For me, it did the opposite. I did not feel like eating. Um, Also, some that have it really, really bad have suicidal thoughts. So, my thing is, don't be embarrassed to share if you're going through it. Don't be embarrassed. It's normal, it happens. Everybody suffers from something, and this is something that unfortunately I suffered from, and I'm feeling better. I'm very happy. Auntie Ellen says, I've been in PTSD counseling for the past 10 years, 11 a.m. every Tuesday. Good for you. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. I don't know if you were here, but I started out talking about how I was embarrassed to admit it. And a dear friend of mine told me that for those of you who didn't hear that, she asked me what happened to my live. She said, I needed to hear your live. I was thinking, she always listens to the replay. She said she was having a rough day, suffering from seasonal affective disorder and or depression, excuse me. And she said, I knew listening to your live would kind of help me, but I couldn't find it. You didn't have it. And then I confided in her that I had seasonal depression. And that's why I didn't do my live. I have a lot of videos I need to edit and put up. I didn't do that either. I knew I should have. I wanted to, but I was so depressed with that seasonal depression, guys. It hit me hard. So I was embarrassed, like I said. But the fact that I have people here that are talking about it, that have mentioned things, Auntie Ellen, Mike, Rambo, and others, Queen, Unbiased, it feels good to know, hey, it's okay. People do get help. Hey, bro, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I know everybody's busy. If y'all could just please give your girl a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Yeah, so that is basically all the info that I found with my research, but I'm going to continue to do more research because, man, it's a big topic. It's so much. What I've done is I've also found, like I said, that the lemon balm helps. And I was so happy that I had my own lemon balm tincture and I started using it. So I'm thinking that going forward, when fall hits, use it. It won't hurt me. So I can use it a couple of times a day if need be. And that may help alleviate that problem, or it may not hit me as much. So we'll see. I will take notes because I do keep lots of notebooks for different things, and I will jot down how I feel, how I'm feeling emotionally, how my eating is, how I feel socially, and then I can look back and say, okay, this is what happened last year. How's it doing this year? So the funny thing about it is I'm trying to look forward, and I'm realizing, you know what? Fall is here, and I'm looking forward to spring. I know winter's not here yet, but here in the South where I live, spring comes quick. In January, we only have a few weeks of cold days because think about it. It's only 40 days until the middle of December. And that's when we usually start to have really cold weather. Well, cold for us. um, what's cold for one is not always cold for another. Hey, J3GS Farm, good to see you. Thanks for coming and supporting. I appreciate that. So, I'm trying to look forward. One thing I am looking forward to is I'm looking forward to getting my whole seed catalog. I did pre-order it. They usually start sending them out from the printer in November. So it's November 4th. I'm looking forward to receiving it any day. And I will be in that catalog and I'll be focusing on spring. So hopefully going forward, I will not feel this. Our cold is definitely different. I know it is. That's like when I went to London, it was freezing, guys. I did have a coat, a winter coat, but I actually bought a winter coat when I was in London. That winter coat is so different from the winter coat I thought I had. This winter coat was nice, heavy wool. It's beautiful. I wish I had it in this closet here to show you because that coat is so pretty, but it kept me nice and warm. So yeah, you're right. Cold is very, very different. So I'm going to, since I'm feeling better, I'm going to drop that video. I have 2 videos that I need to finish editing. And I'm not going to do heavy editing, guys. I'm just not going to do that anymore. It just, y'all going to see the raw as it is. The only reason why I have to edit it is because it's in pieces and I got to put it together and then upload it. But one is about the Arrow Farm, how I redid the Arrow Farm. I had the Arrow Farm that failed and then the company went out of business. We know all about that. I've said it plenty of times. Well, I got the suggestion to revamp it myself. And yes, ding, ding, ding. I did. It's up. It's running. I've tweaked certain things and I will continue to tweak it. I've done something that will really, really make it amazing. The ladies ready for cold. Yes, they are. We are fattening them up. They are getting plump. We give them really good food. We were giving them one, which was good, but we added something to it that the local feed store told us that will help thicken them up even more. So if anyone's seen my girls, y'all see those girls are plump. They really thick now. They some thick girls. And so we do that because they don't sleep in their coop. We felt that we needed it. We owed it to them to go ahead and give them a little extra feed because they're giving us the eggs. Egg production, that's another thing. Egg production has slowed down. If anyone, a lot of people don't know this, you may not. they too are affected by how many hours of daylight there are. The longer the days, the more eggs you get. The shorter the days, the less eggs you get. So we used to get an average when it's summer, we get an average of 60 to 75 eggs a week. When now we're getting maybe 25 to 35 a week. It is what it is. I think that's their internal clock that God has given them that allows them to rest and their bodies to take a break. So if that's what they need to do, fine. Yes. Thanks for the thumbs up, fam. I appreciate you. Yes. So the other video is of the 2 raised beds that I purchased, that I waited so long for. I waited for them for what was it? Oh man, it escapes my head. The Amazon thing, Prime Day, only to find out they were not going to be reduced. So I bought them. They were 2 for $72, and they're 32 inches tall, which is a decent height. It really is for someone that's tall like me. And I can't do the bending. I'm a grow smarter, not harder. So I've got that. I'm gonna drop those videos. So look for those in the next few days. So Mike said, I always wondered if time full spectrum lights would boost egg production. But yeah, probably good they get breaks. You're right. So here's what some people do. I belong to Backyard Chicken Forum and other forums that deal with chicken. And some people, what they do is they will put the lights in the coop and have it timed so that it stays on for 2 hours once it gets dark. And it kind of fools the chicken into thinking it's still daylight, and they produce more eggs. And that is a suggestion that some people have given in the forum if you want your chickens to continue laying as many eggs. My husband and I talked about it, and they're our pets. They're pets with benefits. And so, we felt like they needed to get a break. So we're not putting any lights in there. We don't want to humanize our chickens. We try very hard not to. We try to give them as natural setting as possible, which was why we give them worms. We give them herbs, which they would find if they were foraging, give them opportunities to forage. We don't force them in their coop. We try to do all of that so that they can live a rich life, the same as if they were in the wild. So that is what we do. In any event, so I'm going to, as I said, drop those videos. Hopefully I'll drop one this evening and maybe one on Wednesday. And then from then on, I should be regular. I should be regular with them. I'm very grateful to everybody that's here, that came to listen, that stopped through, that passed through, that gave a thumbs up. I know everybody's busy, got things to do. I appreciate that. So I do appreciate everybody coming in. It's amazing. It really is amazing. So how is everyone's garden doing? Their winter garden? Mine is doing pretty good. I had to rip up all of my broccoli at one point and some of my cabbage because the cabbage moths tore them up. Had to start over. I did, but it's looking good. It's looking much better. Clean that out. So hopefully it will do well. I'm thinking here on out, it should be okay. I did put some diatomaceous earth down because it's also good in the coop for the chickens. And so it kind of is good serves two purposes, the garden and the chicken. So just kind of sprinkling it. The only thing with that is once it gets wet, it's not as effective. So that is the thing I hate. So Mike says he still has broccoli and cabbage out there, but the snow killed the rest. Darn it. Man, well, at least it didn't kill everything. Looking at the positive, at least you have the broccoli and the cabbage. hopefully you can re-up with whatever else you had out there. I hope so. I hope so. Tomorrow I'll harvest and make a stew. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, my collards, I noticed they're a little iffy. Some in one area, they're doing good, and in the other area, they're growing slower. Could be something with who gets more sun, who I don't know. But what's really doing good is the peas. My peas are doing really good. I have them in grow bags, and I have a few, and they're lined up, and I want them, they're near the trellis. I want them to vine on the trellis. So they're almost there. So soon I'm going to take a little thin string to kind of guide them up there. But they are doing really well. Here in this small bounty that I have the butterfly peas. They're doing good. The lettuce, of course, is doing good. In the farm, I have started more tomatoes because I ripped out that big tomato plant that was there, started over. I've got kale in there, and I've got I want to see how chamomile does. I know chamomile spreads, so I've given it some room. So we'll see. We'll see. But I got a lot going on. I'm glad it's doing good. So Auntie Ellen says she harvested a small amount of potatoes, planted 55 cloves of hardneck garlic today. Wonderful. That is great. I've planted some garlic, but I have not planted 55 cloves. I've planted more like 10 or 15, and I have more to do. I'm going to get it done, but that's wonderful. So Mike said, all my inside collards and cabbage died. I blame the system. They were, well, look, it happens. It happens. So kick them out, clean it out, and go on with the next. So Mom said, Mama Shirley said she removed the frost cover because today was beautiful off her green stalk. Good, we'll cover tomorrow for weather change. Speaking of Mama Shirley, I planted some strawberries, Mama Shirley. I don't know how it's going to be. Guys, I typically do not like strawberries. And then I realized maybe I don't like them from the store. And I said it because one year when Mama Shirley came to visit, I'm sorry, Ma, I got to tell it. We went to the nursery and she picked the strawberry and ate it. And she said it was good. Well, confession. I went to the nursery and I saw all the strawberries they had. And one hanging basket was full of strawberries. And I ate one and I was like, I like it. So I purchased two, not the hanging baskets, but the smaller ones in the little containers. I purchased two, and I'm going to see how it does because I like strawberries that are fresh, not from the store. So Mike says, so cool, Miss Shirley. Glad the green salt is working well. I know it's working really good. I'm happy too. And I think they look so pretty once everything starts fulling out. It just looks gorgeous. So Darth X said, speaking of, I just ordered a green stalk. It's a surprise present for my mom and me because I'll be doing all the work. But you know what? You will probably enjoy doing the work for her, and she will love eating and harvesting from it. That's good. That's good. That's wonderful. That's a very good gift. That's the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, very cool. Cool points for you, Dark. She laughing, yeah, about them strawberries. I know that's right. Wow, you planted more garlic than me, Auntie Ellen. She planted more garlic than all of us combined, probably. She planted 20, yeah, and I planted 10, so she still planted more than all of us combined. Funny, funny. Hey, Psalms, how? Gosalo. Good to see you. What's for dinner tonight? Because I know you're cooking or you've already eaten. Tell us. Do tell, please. Dar said he'll be planting strawberries in it. Okay, great, great, great. I just put strawberries in one of the raised beds that I had. I hope it does well. I hope they do well. Like I said, I've never done strawberries. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize that strawberries could be grown now. I thought that was a summer thing. But I've learned a lot about strawberries. So here's one thing. I was watching somebody's video. I think it might have been Lady Cheryl, and she was saying how you have to make sure you plant the crown. Don't plant the crown. Whatever. I ordered these strawberries, maybe about 4 years ago, a whole bunch, guys, and only one came up. It's because I planted them wrong. I was thinking that long part, well, you have to first of all put them in water and let them absorb it. So what I was doing is I was putting it in upside down. I thought I read the directions correctly, but from her video, I was doing the opposite. Now I can't even remember now. I would have to go back and look in my notes how to plant them. But if I go with the company and purchase the strawberries like that again, I will have to make sure I look at my notes so that I plant them right side up and not upside down, because that is what I did, which is why only one came up, and I was just fortunate that one came up. Psalms, I'm going to mail your box Wednesday or Thursday, hopefully. Yeah, just like those seeds, Mike. I'm like, I cannot mail this man one pack of seeds. So I'm in a dilemma, and I always go above and beyond with, or I should say I stress. What do I need to put with it? Okay, I'm looking at all these. Okay, should I order this? Should I order that? Oh, I'll order this. Oh, does he like sweet? Does he like hot? Let me look. Okay, let me binge watch. Okay, does he have? But they're on the way, sir. They're on the way. The ones you want, I have. So I'm saying a good God's glorious evening, everyone. Absolutely. For dinner tonight, I whipped up a real quick plan of chorizo. Ooh, chorizo with eggs. Yes. Now, of course, I don't eat chorizo because that's like Spanish sausage. But they do have a chorizo that is soy-based, and I love it with eggs. So when I saw that, that's why I was like, ooh, because I know it is good. It is good. That sounds so good, Psalms. I know y'all enjoyed that. Meeting this Monday, I was lazy. I ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Nothing wrong with that. Every now and then, you got to have that cereal. You got to go back and bring the kid out. It's so funny because growing up living in New York, my mom did not allow us to eat cold cereal in the winter. We always had hot cereal. She said, "You're not gonna have something cold in your stomach and then go to school." She always gave us hot cereal. So I love hot cereal. But in the summer, we loved that cereal. Loved it. In fact, I was with my sisters this weekend, and we were talking about, one of the things we talked about was cold cereal that we liked. And the husbands were chiming in what cereal they like. And so my sister's husband said, "I liked King Vitamin." And my sisters and I looked like, "King Vitamin, yuck. That's not good. Sugar Pops, Frosted Flakes with cut up peaches or strawberries, now that's good. Or bananas, that's good." They were looking like, "What?" So really funny, really funny. But yeah, everybody enjoys, I think most people enjoy a good bowl of cereal every now and then. Yay, looking forward to it, brother. Absolutely. I know you are. I'm sure it's going to be some goodies in that box. You can mail me one seat. I'm over the... Oh, you're so easy to please, Mike. You really are. You really are. I appreciate that. I really do. The one I made today is soy. But didn't tell my husband. Let me tell you, isn't it funny sometimes how they will say, "Well, I know mine. I don't like that." Mm-mm. You use it, stay quiet. "Babe, this is good. What'd you put in it?" "Oh, a little of this, a little of that." So good for you, Psalm. Good for you. I love that. Honey Nut Cheerios with bananas. Yes, absolutely. Honey Nut Cheerios. I love it. Okay. And Quinny says she like Honey Nut Cheerios too. Yeah, it's good. I tell you, it is amazing. So I'm super excited because My parents and my sister recently moved, and I went to see the house. It is beautiful. And I've decided to gift every member of my family um, a tree. So this weekend, I was finding out, what tree do you like? So my sister, which I thought was very interesting, one of my sisters wants a fig tree. So of course, I'm not going to give her one. I'm going to give everybody two of whatever tree they want. So she says she wants figs because she, some years ago, had fig wine, and she said it was delicious. And she happens to be very good with culinary things. She's had her own business, her own catering business, and everything. So I'm going to gladly give her two fig trees. Um, they are in zone 7B, so the figs will be okay. Um, Oh, GT Junior, yes. Fruity Pebbles was my go-to. Let me tell you, my mom, we wanted Fruity Pebbles, but she didn't get Fruity Pebbles. She was like, no, that one has too much sugar. And as I got older, we would laugh because they all have a lot of sugar, unless you're talking about plain Cheerios or plain cornflakes. And she would give us Fruit Loops that has as much sugar. So, of course, you know how it is when you want something and you can't get it. When you get older, you end up getting it. Man, I don't like Fruity Pebbles. I prefer Cocoa Pebbles. So that's my little cereal thing. I had extra honey. Ooh, that sounds the drizzle. I never put sugar in my cereal, so that honey might be just perfect in my cereal. Ooh, oh, man, you making me want to have some cereal now with that one, sis. So yeah, trees for the family is cool. Thank you. I really wanted to do something that would be great. Something they would enjoy. My brother or brother-in-law or one of my sisters said cherries. So I was explaining to them there are certain varieties of cherries that do need chill hours. So I will be doing the research to find out which ones require more chill hours. Because the cherry trees that I have, the Barbados cherry and the Jamaican cherry, would not last in their zone. So I'm going to go ahead and find which cherry trees are going to work for them. Now, I did tell them we're going to wait till the spring to plant them. I think that's better, um, you know, for them to get used to their trees. Warmer, be inclined to go out more. So that would be good. And then apple trees. I told them, hey, we're going to have a little orchard. They got plenty of land, guys, plenty of land. So they're going to be just fine. We could plant a ton of trees. Oh my goodness, I add sugar to my Rice Krispies. Now, um, you know, we used to have Rice Krispies, and as a kid, and we would put the sugar in. But I would hate when the sugar would kind of go to the bottom if you didn't stir it good. So then we realized if we pour the milk in and then do the sugar, it would be better. But Rice Krispies with sugar is good. I will have to say it is good. Yeah, so GT says zone 7 seems like the zone I want to live in. It seems to have a good balance. You know what? I think it does. I like where I'm living. I like my 9A zone for the planting aspect, and I just love the summers. But if you're not the kind of person that wants that heat, consistent heat and humidity, I think zone 7 is good. It gets nice there in the summer. It's not very humid. The winters, they get a real winter, but they do not get a lot of snow, not as much as they would get in New York. So that's good. I think you would do well. I think you would do well, especially living in Alaska. If you could live in Alaska, man, you could definitely deal with the zone. By the way, how are your chickens doing? If you're still driving, you don't have to respond because I want you to be safe. But how are your chickens doing? Just thought about that. In any event, let me know how they're doing. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start looking now so that I'll know exactly when it's time. I'm gonna start in March looking for the different trees. I have it written down in my notepad, not this book, but my little notepad, what everyone likes. And I want to buy two of everyone. My sister's husband says he likes pears. So I said, great, you can get a Kiefer, you can get a Baldwin, you can get a Bosque pear. Pears are wonderful. They're going to do well. I also wanted to make sure that I saw what was native to that area because they definitely have to have a native fruit tree. Whatever tree is native there, I'm definitely going to get it for them. So GT said that the chickens are doing good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, guys, it is a little over an hour. I want to say thank you for everybody that took the time out to come and join me on my live. It feels so good to openly talk about something that was bothering me. It feels good to have gotten the feedback about seasonal depression. So I just want to say to anybody who's in earshot of this or who may hear this on the replay, if you think you're suffering from seasonal depression, if you think that you're too embarrassed or no one's going to understand, don't feel that way. People will understand. Those that love you, those that are close to you will understand. Seasonal depression is real. It affects a lot of people. If it's affecting you, do your research like I did and find how you can alleviate some of the symptoms that you may be having. You may be able to eliminate all of them. You may be able to eliminate some of them. You may find ways to cope better. Whatever you can do to help yourself, remember, self-preservation is your first obligation. So please, by all means, do whatever you can do to help yourself if you're suffering from seasonal depression. I wish everyone well. GT says, one is going to the vet tomorrow, shaking my head. Wife says she needs to go before they go outside. Just been working on this chicken coop. Headed out there this minute. Okay, sir. Well, I hope everything goes well with that vet visit. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It did go fast, Mike. Just got off work 45 minutes ago. Okay. Well, go relax after you check on your girls. I need more sunlight hours and less chill hours over here. Amen to that. I agree 100%. Very real. I'm truth. Get your sunlight. Yep. Thank you for sharing. I got sunlight light bulbs. It helps. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys. I love you all. And as I always say, whatever you're doing, you enjoy it. Gózalo.